At the very beginning of Morrowind, the player meets Fargoth, an unremarkable bossmer from Seydanin. During the day, he wanders aimlessly around the settlement, but one night he begins sneaking between the houses, approaches a tree stump in the middle of the swamp, and hides his savings inside. The other people of Morrowind do not even have daily routines, and behave exactly the same way at any time of day. So you might assume that Fargoth is an exception, and that the developer scripted his entire nighttime walk by hand. But the developer's actual approach is far more elegant than that, and to understand why, we first need to look at how the game's AI works. Basic behavior in Morrowind is built from two main layers: AI data and AI packages. AI data is essentially the character's personality, made up of 4 parameters: hello, fight, flee, and alarm. They determine how the character reacts to the player and to what is happening around them. Hello is the greeting distance. It determines how close the player must be before the character stops, turns toward them, and says hello. Fight shows how likely the character is to attack. 30 is considered a normal peaceful value. A character with fight 30 will not attack based on that value alone, but their final level of aggression also depends on distance and their attitude toward the player. At around 90, they will usually attack as soon as the player comes close enough. Flee shows how likely the character is to run away from a fight. Together with their remaining health, their distance from the enemy, and the options they have available in combat, this parameter affects the decision to retreat. Alarm shows how seriously the character reacts to crimes. With a low value, they may notice an offense, but take no action. A high value causes a stronger drop in their attitude and makes an active response more likely, while guards with high alarm will try to arrest the criminal. Once you realize that the entire depth of a character's personality is built from these primitive parameters, it becomes difficult to understand why the game world feels so alive. Part of the answer lies in emergence. Simple numbers combined with the circumstances and produce a slightly different result each time. For example, the player steals an item. One character notices the crime, and the game checks everyone nearby. For each person, it separately considers the value of the stolen item, the distance, their attitude toward the player, and their fight and alarm values. One passerby takes no action. Another starts a fight. A guard tries to arrest the player. Nobody scripted this exact scene by hand. It emerged from the same rules being applied to different characters. The second layer of behavior is AI packages, what the character is currently doing. While AI data determines how a character reacts to events, an AI package determines what they do when nothing unusual is happening. Morrowind has 5 basic package types: Wander, Travel, Follow, Escort, and Activate. Each package is a ready-made type of behavior with its own set of parameters. All of its logic was written in advance. A game designer does not explain to a character how to move their legs, choose a route, or avoid obstacles. They simply choose a package and fill in a few fields. For example, Wander means moving around within a set radius of a starting point. The designer chooses the point and the radius around it. The character moves inside the resulting area and uses one of 8 idle animations. Each animation has its own chance of playing. From time to time, the system decides what the character will do next: play one of these animations or start walking again. Travel works in a similar way, but it stores only 3 coordinates: the character's destination. The system then builds a route to that destination using a path grid. This is an old method of making out a game world that was standard in the industry before the modern navmesh. Level designers manually placed a network of points across the map and connected them with lines for the characters to follow. If there was no obstacle between a character and their destination, they walked straight towards it. If the way was blocked, they first looked for the nearest point and then followed the connected lines towards the destination. Follow and Escort are used to connect two characters. Follow makes a character move after a selected target and stay close to them. This is the package used by companions. With Escort, the character is given both a target and a place where they must bring that target. The guide moves toward the selected destination while the escorted person remains nearby. If that person falls behind, the guide stops and waits. The final package is Activate. It makes a character find a specific object, approach it, and activate it, much like the player would. The target may be a door, a lever, or another interactive object. The game designer enters its ID, and the system handles the rest automatically. A character can be assigned several packages. They are stored in a queue, and the engine executes whichever package comes first. When the package is completed, the next one begins. In addition to the basic packages that determine what a character does in their normal state, there is a combat package and quest-driven behavior, both of which are given higher priority. When a fight begins, the system places the combat package at the front of the list. The character stops wandering, following a companion or traveling toward a point, and switches their attention to the enemy. During combat, the character evaluates the contents of their inventory, the weapons, spells, potions, and other options available to them. They then choose and equip the best weapon and armor based on their stats. Their skills with the weapon is taken into account as well. During the fight, the system also checks whether the character should run away. Once the fight is over, the temporary behavior is removed and the character returns to their routine. Quest scripts take control in a similar way. Commands with the AI prefix assign the character high-priority AI packages with specific parameters. Scripts can link these packages into sequences and add extra functions, such as forcing the character to sneak or wait. This is how Fargoth works. His script assigns him several travel packages one after another, while activating sneaking and adding pauses between them. In this way, directed behavior is assembled from existing building blocks. Morrowind is an example of how 4 parameters and a handful of simple behavior types can breathe life into dozens of settlements and create a game world that people will remember for decades. 4 years later, Bethesda would develop this system further. Characters would receive goals and daily routines of their own. And instead of one scripted Fargoth, this would be an entire world of NPCs capable of creating similar scenes by themselves. The world would feel more alive, and it would produce even more fun events. But that is another story.